Hello, it's Ollie here at the Crafty Whisk, and I'm so grateful that you could join me today.
I'm going to do another three-dimensional card today using a die from Snazzi Scrappin. It's the Creator Card box card. I haven't got a proper label on there yet, but this is all the dies you get in there. You get a lot. You get the actual die for making the card. You need to cut 2 of these, and then you get some layering dies, and you also get some balloons, a cupcake, a balloon, string, some confetti. You get the little die that creates the pop-up element in the centre of the card, and you also get the word celebrate. So I'll be using some of these dies, not all of them, today. I'll show you one that I quickly made just to test everything out. These do fit in a standard Australian A6 envelope, and it folds up so that it's nice and it's quite flat there. And then when you open it, the 3 sides come down and you have your scene in the centre. The back you can either leave up or you can fold it back. It's up to you depending what kind of scene you like in there. You can put as much or as little in there as you wish to make it as full or not quite as full, depending what sort of theme you're going for. And I have stuck my elements up on some acetate. You can buy acetate from craft stores, or you can just use packaging. Just cut up into thin strips. I cut mine roughly about 1/4 of an inch. Some of them are a little bit wider, and they're just attached on the 2 little bits in there, which is used with this die here. Okay, so I'll show you how to make one. I'm not going to be doing any stamping today. It's mainly die cutting because I want this to be as quick and easy as I can. And I've just bought this set of ephemera from Spotlight, and these are 3D stickers. So they're on little foam dots, and they're just 2 little bits popped up on top of each other. I thought that would be fun to use, and these from the GB collection, they come in all sorts of themes. You can get birthday, travel, baby, wedding, what else? All sorts of things. There's a lot there. And a pack of this is roughly about $5 for the packet. Alrighty, so to start with, we need to cut 2 of the base die, and depending how many of these you want inside your card, at least 2, if not 3. I generally go for 2. So I'm using sort of like scrap bits that I have floating around. So the papers I'm using are these 2. This one comes from, let me see, it's a waffle flower paper pad that I had lying around. It's Botanical Dots. And the other piece of paper that I have, this one, when I used to buy from Clearly Besotted, they used to send out just free paper every now and again, and so I've got a lot of their free paper which I need to use up. So it's dots on one side, stripes on the other. That's to decorate all the edges. The other thing you're going to need is some strong tape. I use redline tape. And to pop up any elements, you can use foam dots, and you can also use strips of acetate if you wish to pop things up. Or in the die set, she also has, sorry, bring it back here. She's got these 2 little strips, so you can cut out strips of paper, or sorry, cardstock, it needs to be quite firm, to pop your elements up with that as well. But I find I just cut up some packaging, and that works just as well. So we need to cut 2 of these and 2 of these. So I'll be back once I've finished cutting these out. Okay, so I have my 2 bases, my 2 inner strips, and I only cut one of the long rectangle which goes on the front there because I'm leaving the back plain for writing on. And I cut 2 sides, and then the flaps 2 of each size. And I ended up using the yellow one for the word celebrate, and I just used double-sided adhesive on the yellow paper and then stuck it down onto some white cardstock, which is also backed with sticky paper, so that I can just peel it off and stick it on to the project at the end. Okay, and so now I find it easier to decorate while it's flat, but I will show you how to do it while when it's assembled, because it might be easier for the first time to do it when it's assembled. So the first thing you will notice is that as well as your cut lines, you've also got score lines. Normally we do mountain folds, so where it's indented we fold backwards, and we are going to do that for the flaps but not for the sides, because we want the nice die cut edge to be on the outside. So what I tend to do, just so that I don't get muddled up, is I do the flaps burnishing first, so I know what the outside and the inside is. The only one I will not do is one of the large ones, because that's going to pick the back. So once I know that that is how my card is going to sit, I then fold the other ones into the valley. So I'll just do my little joining flaps first. This one you might have noticed has a little notch cut out of it because I'm using whatever scrap paper I have lying around. And because it's just to secure the box, it didn't really matter that just that top little bit was missing. Okay, so I've got my flaps going out and everything else coming in. Oops, I didn't want to fold that one back. Right. So this is how your box is going to be assembled. That flap is going to be stuck onto the inside there, and this flap will be stuck onto that inside, like so, forming your box. Okay, so I'll just put adhesive on the outside. I use red line adhesive just because it is a little bit stronger. But you can just use score tape if you wish. In fact, on the other one, I think I did just use score tape and it was perfectly fine. So I might do that actually, because it is easier to work with. I don't have any of the correct width, so I'll just use the 1/4 inch. Got to order some more. Okay, so I'll start with the red line one. Make sure it's burnished down properly. Remove the backing. And what I do is I lay both of them down so that I've got a grid. So I line that one up with one of the grid lines, and then this one up with the other grid line. And going up to the fold line, but not crossing it, and stick it down. And then the other one, I actually just lay it, so sorry, it was like that. I flip it upside down. I lay that one that I'm going to stick just on the fold line, and then I just fold this one over to meet it. And it will automatically go to where it's meant to go because it's all measured out correctly. And there is your box. Now for the inserts, just fold back on the score lines. And then we just need some tape on those score lines. Do I have any wider tape? What's this one like? Hi, River. This one doesn't rip as nicely as the score tape. Tell you what, you get what you pay for. Although this wasn't cheap, but it's easy to get here in Australia. It's the Express It tape. We get it from Spotlight and Officeworks. But it doesn't tear as nicely as the score tape brand. Okay. So now that they're on, what you need to do is work out where you want them positioned. I positioned them so that I had two, they were evenly spaced apart. To do that, I start at the back and I remove the backing off both sides. And I will put a little bit of glue on there as well because you do need wriggle room to get them lined up. Now I'm going to have my tabs facing the back. I'm going to line it up with the top edge or just below the top edge, and I'm going to have the tab hitting the back of the card. I'm going to try and show you what I mean. I'm just going to fold that one back on itself for the moment. And put that one in there. And then come across here. Okay, make sure that they are the same height and in the same location. And then you just fold it backwards and forwards a little bit, and then that should enable the card to fold flat for mailing. Then you just need to grab your a pen or a bone folder just to secure those in. I must say don't like that tape, it's not very strong at all. So I'm just going to take them out. Sorry about this, I could just feel it wobbling, and it shouldn't wobble. So that tape is not good tape for construction. You do need construction weight tape. I do have one spare one. I keep all the spare bits and pieces in the back of the envelopes. I've got all my acetate bits there as well. Okay, I'll reuse this one, and that one I'll just put there. So I do need my red line. Okay, I will still use the glue. Okay, the back was that side. So the top of the card, or top of the box, and the back of the card are the two edges you're aiming for. There we go. Alright, the second one. So again, I'm going to use glue. The glue I'm using is art glitter glue. Now this needs to be the same height, so the top of the box, and then this part of the tab is going to hit the other frame. So fold one edge in so it doesn't get glued to the wrong spot. And top of the card hitting the other one. Burnish them down. This one just needs a little bit more oomph from me because it had the existing tape and glue on there as well. And it should fold nice and flat. Sometimes it seems to favour one direction over the other. That's okay. Alright, so we have our base of the box. I'm just going to pop the cap back on my glue. Now we can decorate the box. So you can use glue or tape runner, whatever you prefer. I'm just going to use some tape runner. This one I had to hand was just the Spellbinders one. If any bits go over the edge, because I've got a terrible aim. Okay, now with the flaps, the bottom, the flaps that they fold down, they fold down, so you need it on the face that is folded down, because you're not going to see the other side, so it's pointless wasting. But the other one's going to be on the back. So that goes like so, two side ones. So you can see once you've got the base box done, the rest goes together very quickly. Okay, so this is the front of my card, so the long strip goes on the front. And then the two sides go on the two sides. And then it is all about the decorating. Now these aren't true squares, so there is a definite way they go on. But it's easy to figure out because you just sort of hold it up and go, well, that's not right, so you do it the other way. Oops. And try and put it on straight. Okay, so that's the box decorating. See, once the flap's down, you don't really see a lot of the underneath, which is why I didn't go for the yellow in the end. I just went for the darker colour. Now for the decorating, I'll just grab a few of my acetate strips. Actually, I'll grab my word first. Where'd that go? Here? No. There. I'll just peel off my word and stick that on. Try to get it on straight and centered as best you can. Alright, now these guys here. So the decorating, you can use double-sided tape or foam dots. Because these are already on foam dots, which I can't actually get off, although they are a bit too wide, so I'm just going to do a little bit of surgery on them, because I just don't want the sticky bit. So if I just trim it back a little bit, then I can put that straight onto my piece of acetate, and then just decide where you want bits and pieces. So normally I like to decide what I want front and foremost, and what I want at the back. So you're sort of going to try and work in low to high, and be careful not to go above that line there, because that otherwise won't fit into your envelope. So I might put the balloons at the back because they're nice and high anyway, so just stick them down. And then at the front, maybe I'll have the cake at the very front actually. So I probably didn't need to put it onto a piece of acetate, but because I had that bit of foam dot there, which I didn't couldn't really get off, I am going to use a foam dot, but I'm going to put it right there because I don't want this to go up very high. So that just sticks down in the centre. Every now and again, just make sure, like I have gone over a bit there, so I may need a bigger envelope, or if I can, shimmy it down a little bit. Like so, that's better. Oops. But by shimmying it, I lost my little foam. That's okay. Just put another one on. There we go. That's nice and secure. So if I lay it down, you can probably get a better idea of how it's going to look. Okay, the cupcakes. And these ephemera packs or sticker packs, when the stores have their big sales, you can get them a lot cheaper too. So I think Spotlight had 20% off. So it became a lot cheaper for me. That I want to do on a foam dot. And I want it to have movement, so I will put it on. I was going to stick it on the back, but you notice the other ones wobble when you move the cards, so I thought, oh, that'll be a bit fun for this one to wobble as well, even though I want it on the back. So I'm going to pop it just with some tape. And so it has a bit of wobble as well. I'll put it a bit straighter. There we go. And I might put a yellow star up there just so it rounds out the back. And I might put that other star. I know you can't really see it, but it just sort of it finishes the bottom of the balloons. So now we're just going to decide if we want another cake on there or if we save that for another project, because that would have to go, you know what, we will, why not? But I don't need any of the sticky on the back, so I'm just going to cut off the sticky bit. It's like marshmallow. Okay, that's not sticky anymore. And I'm going to pop some acetate to go there. I could have left a bit of the sticky bit for the tape, but that's okay. I need a thicker one. Here's that one, it's a bit thicker. And I'm going to put foam on the front of it. Put it about there. And that, I want it to go, I might need another dot. So I'm putting 2 dots on, because these are only 1mm dots. So effectively now I've got 2mm on there. And there. Okay, save those bits of acetate. Even the little ones, you just never know. Alright, so when you post it, you put it in the envelope. It does have a little bit of bulk, so you are probably going to need an extra stamp on there. But I did put some of mine up on foam, so if you don't use foam, you won't be as bulky. So that you take it out of the envelope, and you just put the sides down, and there's your card. How fun is that? And then you get to write your message on the back. But isn't that a lot of fun for someone to get? And you can do them for babies, weddings, especially good for kids. But I mean, even as an adult, I'd be thrilled to get that. Let me know what you think.
Please like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss it when I bring out a new video.